Well, it seems like the people over at Betway believe in you as well. 1.22 to the 4 odds in favor of G2 as we're kicking things off. G2 going to be on the T side, ATK on the CT. And already off the bat, it looks like they want to potentially head over towards this A side. We've actually seen this map played quite a bit, I feel like, over the course of the Season 10 finals, at least within the group stage alone. But Sonic, in the meantime, has been able to get the initial kill over to Nexa.
Good stop. Look at the trades. That's the A side gone. That's already completely under the control. The two aggressive players, they were trying to peek in. Sure, the rotations are quick, and JT is going to be able to get the headshot, but they have to be careful of these players around the side. And well, JT already so low. Nice shot from Sonic. A little bit more comes out of JT. And now Amanek, the man who wasn't quite able to step up versus Astralis, left into a 1 versus 2. This round really has been swinging back and forward. JT, he will fall, and it's left in that 1v1. Sonic has been the star of the show for this team, and it's completely different to when we saw him play MMV. I'm loving this version of Sonic in ATK. The question is, who's going to get the mind game right? The bomb currently not in control of Amanek, so he can't really make the move back. The timing is going to be everything here for Sonic, as he might just get around the corner. He knows he's there. He's just trying to find an angle. Amanek still has absolutely no idea. He's going to look to retrieve the bomb, goes running back into Sonic, and it's messy, but Amanek wins it. It seemed like the South African had him dead to rights, but Amanek, with a lucky Glock headshot, is going to take it through.
I'm just imagining, like, Sonic saw him. He saw him on the rotation towards the site. He heard him running around the corner, and yet he still couldn't hit the shot. That has to be so frustrating for ATK, because he could have clutched out. He already had 2 kills in the round as well, opening up with the initial kill, I believe it was. Really unfortunate for the boys over on the ATK side, and now G2 get to buy up here. They're going to be up against the pistols and the armor, so they can't necessarily get this for free as they're trying to push in towards the safe side off the bat. Jack's leading the charge with the AK. A lot of utility being thrown in, but really no damage being done until OC takes some damage for the Molotov.
Okay, it's getting a little bit dicey for the T side, but they have rectified this situation. Hunter with 3 kills off the back of the SMG. That's a nice money-making round and an attempt, but it's going to be Amanek just watching that flank. Don't actually retrieve all the weaponry that they had, so at least there's been some cost caused by ATK. But nonetheless, we're now going to have to buy back up, and they can't really afford anything.
This has been a super awkward 2 rounds, I feel like. It's been very, like, skirmishy between the two teams. You think of the pistol round, there's kills being traded constantly. There, we see just a big skirmish breakdown on the actual ramp at the A site. Seems a little disjointed, a little bit unorganized, but in the end, G2 do come out ahead. We're going to see the push towards ramp yet again. I wonder if G2's going to rush straight into this. They still have the 2 MAC-10s, so they could build up a lot of extra money from this. Jax, well, he's going to get the first. Hunter going to come around the corner, spots out 3 more players, and will eventually fall from this, but it doesn't seem to matter because they're going to rescue the SG and pick up all these kills. Now Sonic, the last alive. Well, what can you really do with just the USP?
What's going on?
I don't know. Kenny just took a bunch of damage from a Molotov.
I think they just all walked into their own Molotovs. Actually, Kenny's going to go down because of it. That is silly. And are they actually going to get
the SG
rifles back?
Yeah. So, did they have an AK? I thought they only had 1 SG.
Maybe. Yeah, they had 2 MAC-10s for sure, but I think they still lost another rifle because Amanek ended up having to switch out Galil for the SG. Not the biggest loss in the world, but hey, there's still extra economy that they were forced to invest. Now we come up with the proper buys. This is where the AWP is going to be onto OC. You have rifles on the rest of the board, and G2's job gets that a little bit tougher.
Well, Amanek was the player that we were talking about before in their match versus Astralis. Currently 3-0. A little smoke used to just gain some ground here towards the B side. They're actually playing very quick here, I'd say, for G2. Floppy, meantime, has taken down Hunter. But now Sonic has to look to defend the site. He's got Jax still with the MAC-10. I mean, this is still not, you know, a massive force-up, so a little bit of a bonus round coming in for G2. Bomb going to be planted, and now Sonic has to hold on and survive until his team can reinforce.
Oh, nice kill from Kenny. That's an important one. Stops the flank. It means it's only the remaining CT players all coming from one angle. Amanek's also in middle as well, so they literally just being sectioned through one position and one position alone. The T's know this and can fall all the way back to the stairs. There's already a man on the bomb. Doesn't have a kit though, so they are going to have to fight this back, and this is a problem now. He's still sticking it. They haven't managed to get Sonic off the bomb, and it's going to be the round going their way. That had to be a full 10-second defusal and had to defend off Sonic. But OC does a good job, and ATK, they're onto the board.
Still going to be rough, though, right? Because ATK have to buy up 3 more weapons. G2 still had money to spend from the last round because they still maintained a Galil and a MAC-10, I believe it was. So not a bad start for ATK, especially considering its full 10-second defuse there when G2 had some pretty decent positions. It's quite surprising they're able to pull that off in the end of things. Modem currently on 0-4. Looking to see him step up a little bit. Might grow time up before he can get really riled up and be the lifeline within the team to get them all motivated and going. But I do kind of like the pace out of G2. Like, they've been very quick in all these rounds. They're not really wanting to slow the pace and just look for the initial picks, trying to keep ATK on their toes. Maybe trying to force out early utility as well, which it looks like ATK won't be using too much of in this round.
Much more patient setup this time. Coming out from G2. They've got Kenny on that AWP, so it's understandable. I like the late smokes actually coming down from the CT side. A lot of the time you see this utility expended very early on. And okay, sure, ATK are now pretty much out of utility. They've got 3 flashbangs, but not anything ideal. Floppy going to be jump spotting. Now, you don't see too many players jump spot this angle for the exact reason that this can happen. Like, you can very easily get past that spot without him noticing. And then you're basically dead. Like, they know you're there. They can hear the footsteps every time you drop. Jack's also trying to sell this as a little bit of a fake, but the bomb's on the floor. I wonder if it might be his job to retrieve it. OC also could be going down. They have wrapped back into this position, but again, they have not got the bomb. Interesting that the B side is now completely clear and the T's are fully dedicated into the site with the last couple of players. Nexa, his 3rd kill of the round already, and while OC surrounded, they didn't need the bomb, it seems. They just killed absolutely everybody, and I say they, I mostly mean Nexa.
And now with ATK taking the round before and losing 3, buying up into this round, they now have no money left for him, Tom. Pistols going to be bought up here, but that's just about it. And G2 already going to be starting with a strong, well, potential 5-1. I don't want to call it just yet, especially if you were tuned in yesterday. You've seen a lot of rounds go back in the team's favor with some lucky pistol shots. But G2 honestly looking pretty good. But I still kind of agree with some sentiments you were saying. Like, the bomb was down and there was no one to pick it up. They had to basically fight to get into the vicinity of it yet again. Seems a little kind of awkward in style, but at the same point, G2 are looking confident as ever.
But that's the thing. Like, a lot of these rounds have been off like a little bit of individual brilliance. Like, you've had Nexa just getting 4 kills in a round, just running around and absolutely wrecking everybody. Like, sure, they've got the right setups. Like, if you notice any aggression that comes in from ATK, at least when it's flanks, has been killed almost every time by Amanek. Like, he is watching these positions. He's making sure no one can come in from behind.
I'm also worried for Modem as well, watching this very important position on the A site. He's currently 0-5. He's going to need to start picking up some kills. Nice little start out of JT, though, with the USP. Floppy gets 1. Modem gets on the board with his first kill. So they're making it expensive down to a 2-on-2 now. They're able to rescue at least one of the AKs, but that's going to do it, unfortunately, for them. G2 still will survive with Kenny's picking up 3 kills. Again, that little bit of individual brilliance coming through. Kenny's now on 6 kills, and G2 going to be up 5-1.
Yeah, very costly round, though. Like, if you look at the amount of reserve cash, considering this is 5-1 in their favor, it's not really anything impressive. So if ATK can win this one, they're actually going to be in a fairly good position to break the buy of G2. They've come in with a solid one themselves. Of course, their loss bonus is basically maximized at this point. And look at the change of pace. There's something I always love to see from Nexus calling. You will have these rounds where they just look to blast through a certain position. They found a hole in the defense in the previous round in middle, with Floppy getting taken down without much of a response. Double smoke actually thrown in. We'll see if that plays a part later when they do go for an execution. But now, this boost comes in once again. We've seen a few teams using this. Not actually going to be able to see anything. And Sonic looked like they were about to rotate back there, but instead they've had to put a player back into this site.
Dominic, though, pushed up. Unfortunately, going to lose the trade up against JT. A big kill coming for the CT side, but the site has been taken for G2. Sonic's still going to be there, able to get 2 for himself and forces them immediately back. The bomb's going to be down as well. Kenny trying to pick up some kills here as he has Hunter off to the side, potentially going for a flank here. It's going to take a hell of a long time for him to really get the position he needs.
He hit that shot.
He hit it?
Yeah, Floppy went down to 23 HP.
Oh, damn.
Like, I assume that would have had to be a headshot for him to connect anything, but it looks like he hit him through the box. Maybe even with a headshot. Like, that is a little bit unlucky. And so is this setup. Like, OC's probably quite frustrated by the fact he's gone down to that. The problem is, just look where the bomb is. Like, you may even just want to think about saving your guns. Like, sure, making things costly would be nice, but there should be no way that G2 are able to win this round. Kenny's been spotted pushing in. Hunter is doing his best to try and do as much damage as humanly possible, throwing out the Molotov, but he's already been spotted. They know exactly where he is. That's already a third kill, though. This is more cost than would have been expected, but Sonic, he'll get his triple as well. Shutting down the round, a second on the board, and as mentioned, now the money for G2 is not great. I wonder if they are going to invest that AWP back into Kenny, or maybe it will go into a situation where he's dropping a gun and just picking up an AK.
Oh, I do enjoy, at least, like, with the extra kills Hunter got at the end. I feel like the investment of throwing Kenny and Hunter in there was kind of worth it, because they had to buy up on like 3 different people, right? And they still don't have that much money. They're still kind of in the same, rankings of where they were in the last round in terms of like financials.
I do think though, if you save those 2 guns, you have a full buy here. Because Kenny had, what, about
6K, 7K?
6K, so he has his AWP, then he can drop 2 AKs. So I get the idea that obviously doing that amount of damage is great, because it now means if you do win this next round, you're set. But your next round buy is kind of trash. Like, you've got weapons missing. Is Kenny even going to... I thought Kenny was actually going to... Yeah, it looked like he gave another AK over to Amanek, and I'm going to say, no, you know what, man? You're a pretty good rifler. You keep it.
Floppy going for the early control and towards middle. G2. Well, they picked up the pace towards middle before. Hunter might be doing the same thing here. I wonder if actually JT expects them to have already pushed up towards the sandbags. I don't believe so. Next, in the meantime, has been able to get a kill on the Sonic, so that potentially opens things up towards this B side. It's going to be all on the Floppy. The SMG gets the first, almost gets the second as well, but eventually going to be picked up by Amanek, who actually pushes in towards middle. He's got more company coming his way. And unfortunately for him, he will die, but the bomb is now down. They have a flank coming in from behind. It's going to be Hunter, and he gets one. Potentially the second as well with the Galil, but Modem will shut him down.
Kenny on the site, doesn't have his trusty AWP. Nexus so desperately low. He gets forced into the open, but still hits the shots. He's been having a phenomenal match with Vertigo, and Kenny now spotting out Modem. They can just fall back. They know exactly the position of the bomb. Now, they struggled with this last time. He could potentially just try and be a little bit sneaky with the defusal, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do. It might actually be quite tough to kill him from here, but he just goes for the bait, almost killing Kenny. Unfortunately, not to be the case. G2, they get themselves another round on the board, and I want to point out, more importantly, how good they have been at least getting kills on rotations. It must be so infuriating for ATK. Not only did you have Amanek lurking in mid, who, as I mentioned him earlier, he's been able to get a kill every single time that somebody's been rotating. He did it again, an impactful one at that, because Floppy was doing a lot of damage. And then literally moments later, they go, okay, well, we've killed the flanker, let's go rotating into the site. Hunter does exactly the same thing. And by that point, the retake was so disjointed.
I think Floppy just got knifed, by the way.
Luckily, it's in a round where it doesn't matter, and clearly it made him stronger.
Yeah. Lower HP, more kill potential. The A side's left a little bit open, though. There's still going to be 2 players there in the city with the pistols to potentially do something. JT is going to have a Galil picked up from earlier on. But unfortunately, they might not even have the time to make it work, and Hunter just decimates Modem with the headshot. So they're going to be able to flank in from behind. And Kenny's going to spot them, and also just want to point out Nexa was able to save this op from the last round, so really trying to keep things on the up and up for the side of G2. He spots out 1 and 2. Potentially, you know, the third player's coming in from the backside. What a shot out of Kenny, though, on a JT. And at least all on a Sonic now against 3, and he's going to be cleaned up just as quickly as ever. One thing I am seeing, though, out of G2 is just, I said it before, but confidence. They look so confident in taking these aim battles. They look so confident in, like, pushing the sights, allowing Amanek and allowing Hunter, like you said before, to, like, catch the rotators. They're looking like a really solid team who's in a really good mental state.
Well, I think the thing as well is all of that is made possible by Nexa. And not even just because he's in-game leading, but because he's been entry fragging. Like, there's been 2 or 3 rounds now where he's just run towards that B site, popped someone's head, and then someone else gains space on the map, which is such a wonderful thing to have. It happened as well in middle, the same sort of thing. Like, when he's able to do that for the team, everybody else benefits from it, even if it's just a single kill. So that's why this T side so far has been very strong from G2. And I don't think we've really seen anything ridiculously impressive. Like, there hasn't been like massive amounts of executes where they've just been forcing people out of angles. They've just been winning opening duels, and it's going to happen for them again. Floppy with a big job to do, and now Jax has stepped up to the plate. He was someone who was so good over the last day or so, and he's going to be doing it once again, combined with Amanek. This round is looking over, and ATK, they're really starting to struggle to do anything over these last few rounds. Sonic, I feel like he's a little bit unlucky. Eventually gets Jax. But there's Amanek once again through the smoke to get the trade. And OC, they know where he is, but he does have the bomb.
Turns into a little bit of King of the Hills. They're all pushing from different directions. He will fall, and G2 will be off to a flying start, 8-2. And finally, the timeout going to come in for ATK, and I think that was needed a couple of rounds ago just to talk some things over, because they're just losing, like you said, a lot of these aim battles. And we saw there, Jax just walks in the middle, gets 2 kills. Dominic gets the 3rd. Like, that ideally should not be happening. And they still had Kennyus for backup with an AWP, but he didn't even have a chance to get a single shot off. But we are seeing G2 go for the double op setup, though. And I don't know if I personally like it with the way they've been playing. It's not bad if you're, like, dominating that, you know, that aggressively, but at the same rate, it kind of... Did they just lose the gun over the side?
I don't know.
Was that a gun that just fell over the side?
Maybe.
Yeah, he threw the op over because now he has an SG.
Yeah, I don't think they bought that, at least.
I think they picked it up, but...
Yeah, so I think that's just basically the decision just to go, just chuck it.
That's so funny.
I wouldn't have actually minded to see him start the round with it, at least. Just, it would have been funny if it was one of those things with, like, the bomb, where it now just appeared on the top of the map, and you can see
yeah.
Free up! I'm very glad that that doesn't happen. It would also be terrifying if it did it with the people and a dead body just, like, appears in front of you.
Well, just imagine if you throw a nade down there, and then it just appears on the top of the map and blows up on someone. Challenge going to come in yet again for Nexa. Yeah, JT will get 1, but unfortunately... 1 and done. Actually, not even 1 and done. He loses 2 teammates in the meantime.
Where the bomb is. They really love leaving the bomb around this angle, and it's hidden, obviously, but with that aggression from the CT side, I can't say I like it. Like, there's so many positions where if they just manage to push that a little bit further, they find the bomb, and this round could be very damaging. And that's one thing that I think ATK have done quite well, is a lot of these pistol rounds, they've been able to bring them close. Unfortunately, I can see why they took so long to take a pause, and it's because I don't necessarily think they've been doing too much wrong. It's just that they've been out-fragged, which, okay, sure, that means you can take a change of strategy, like maybe group up and try and make a play together on the CT side. Things are going so badly wrong that you can't just play your spots anymore. But, well, it's just stuff like that, really. It's really difficult to deal with when everybody on G2 is performing, and as I said, they're looking like a team in form. They're looking like a team who is scary at this moment in time, and ATK, the previous, like that's the difference between them and North. North has a very high skill ceiling. We've said it a bajillion times, but they have not been in form for a while. And their players, when they are in form, okay, some of them can hit a ridiculous skill ceiling, but maybe not the skill ceiling of Kenny S, maybe not the skill ceiling of like Hunter. Like those are players that have been specifically brought in to make an international roster because they are so talented. And it is working. Like, that's the best thing about it. I think that Nexa is definitely the glue that sticks this team together, but I think each part of this roster works very well. And I'm very excited watching G2 at the moment. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm definitely enjoying this. This is the first time I've been able to couch G2 in this current iteration of the roster, but look how just aggressive they're being. Again, pushing towards the A site. Jax spots out JT, but Odense is there to protect him, but just as quick as they decide to push in, they pick up 2 kills. Boden's finally able to respawn. He's been able to slow the push a little bit to maybe allow the rotations to come through, but no, Hunter picks him off, and now it's going to be a 3-on-2.
Yeah, they've been just fantastic. Like, a lot of the time, players are trading 2 for 1 almost every time, which is very difficult to lose a map when that's the case. And Floppy, hoping for something. There you go. He's given an angle. Kenny, so quick to get that back, and Amanek holding on to the upper positions. This is looking...
But we can say this, right? Wasn't it like 11-1 for G2 up against Sharks on Inferno? Something like that?
Yeah, but...
It wasn't this dominating, I'm guessing, but...
It didn't first... Well, it was, but at the same time, that was where Sharks then managed to scrape the last few rounds and then went on to the CT side and just basically started hitting all of their shots. Whereas G2 are now going to go onto the CT side of this map where if they don't get 6 rounds, and they may not even need 6 rounds, then I'm going to be bitterly disappointed. Also, I think that they've got better as the tournament's gone on. I think that was sort of like a bit of a wake-up call. That was a team that they hadn't really played against, and it was a best of 1 that ultimately they closed out. Whereas this is a best of 3 that if they lose, they're out of the tournament. I think that's going to put a completely different sort of scope on this for G2. Like, okay, this is where we just dominate. This is where we don't take our foot off the gas even for a second, because there is no way that we're going home.
I'll also kind of say this, that there's a lot of like matches I've seen where you'll have like this team who on paper should like dominate the other team, right? But then for some reason they play down to the skill level of the other team, and they're not able to play like the way they should.
Any Virtus Pro match ever in the history of any of their teams.
But I'm looking at G2 as being like reminiscent of like Fnatic, where they know they're the better team. They're playing with no respect. They're just running straight into the enemy team and out aiming them. Like they're not giving the respect to ATK, and they're showing that within their own gameplay. And I kind of like that, because that also gives them extra confidence, especially when it's working out for them like it has been.
Well, that's sort of the catch-22, because you see a lot of the, like some of the top teams actually lose matches by showing too much respect for lower opposition. At the same time, you see top teams losing matches to lower opposition because they show them no respect, and then they don't actually manage to win those individual aim duels. So
yeah,
that's also a possibility. I actually think that's part of why we saw a bit of a comeback from Sharks yesterday, is that G2 was so far in the lead. I think it was 11-4 half in the end, where they were just trying to brute force the win. They went for some risky force buys, and it eventually took them getting really, really close to losing the match to go, okay, we kind of need to win this now, otherwise the game's going to slip. Props needs to go to Sharks for playing so well, but I do think that G2 maybe took a little bit too much out of it. Nice work, at least initially, from Floppy. But what do you even do against that? Kenny just headshots him through a wall in the corner. OC's got that second AWP as well, so Amaneka's going to go down. This is one of the best round starts we've seen from ATK. The problem being, though, that this seems like a last-ditch effort to win a round. Like, this does not seem something that's normally in their gameplay. Like, let's just throw double orbs in. Let's try and work the picks. We'll see if they can hold on to it, because that's been the problem. They've got picks before. It's just the trades have been unstoppable. Hunter's been spotted. He definitely won't know this. GT misses the opportunity, but luckily, Hunter walks into OC.
Looking like we could see ATK take a round, definitely with loading right here. Good trigger discipline comes through, and he will pick up a nice little double. Good job by ATK to get back on the board here. One thing I will say, though, it's not like I look at ATK now they've been playing and can like point it out to like one weak point. It's not like, oh, they've been losing B every round, or oh, they've been losing A every round, or middle every round, right?
Nexa.
Yeah, everyone's just losing every battle around the map. So it's not like there's an individual player or individual thing that G2 is taking advantage of. It's just, well, I guess you could say the entire thing they're taking advantage of is just the entire map. So it's definitely like, it has to be frustrating for ATK to not be able to win out on these duels.
Well, it's more frustrating that you're top 3 fraggers versus North when you won, and you're bottom 3 fraggers right now. Like, that just says it all. That's all you really need to talk about. Modern, Sonic, they're the players we need to see wake up. They were so good in their match yesterday, and they have found 2 opening picks in this one. It looks like they finally found that like fighting versus G2 early in the round is actually working out for them. Once again, though, I'm not counting G2 out of any of these rounds, just because of the way they've been playing so far individually. They've been fantastic. The synergy between the players has also been very, very good. Well, this is a round. This should be 11-4, but who knows?
Like I was saying before, the 6 maps played yesterday that I casted, 5 of them were 11-4s. We might be continuing that trend here yet again with ATK having a 2-man advantage. McKenny's still alive. Does get the tag on OC. Actually, OC doesn't even see him at all. It's knocked down to 1 HP, and the aggression's going to come through. ATK going to get the rotation. He's going to leave Sonic over at the B site by himself. Kenny's just so fast. OC's at least able to get 1, though, before he does fall down. Leaves it now all on to Kenny. He's got the perfect scoreline. It's going to be ruined one way or another. We're going to find out within the next 30 seconds.
Just save.
yeah, exactly.
Stay elite. That's what we want. That's not a possibility. There's no way. There's absolutely no way he wins this round. It is going to be an 11-4 half, but ultimately the last couple of rounds are just a little bit of a lifeline thrown in for ATK. They have been dominated so far, and there needs to be a big change if they're going to come back in the second half of their map choice.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the continuation here of our first match of the day. G2 with an 11-4 first half on the T side of Vertigo, and ATK looking to take the pistol around here to start to grind back into this game before we move over to train top. We're going into this round now with 2 smokes and 2 flashes on the side of ATK, and already barreling in onto this A site.
It looks like we're going to get an almost identical setup as the last pistol. This is nice, though. They've got 2 players. Like Amanek is basically, he's going to be the one to peek. He'll take the distraction away. We'll see how much he can do. Look, they're going to look for him, and they'll never expect Kenny. This is genius. This is just genius. It didn't even matter, really. They only needed 1 kill from it, but that is so smart. What we didn't see in the meantime is Hunter just killed everyone else.
Yeah, but I mean, we were looking at the genius play. Now we know what G2 stands for. Genius 2.
That would be the suckiest name ever. Also, especially because there's 5 members on the team, just like 2 of us are geniuses.
I mean, is that worse than Gamers 2?
I don't know.
Because now they don't use Gamers 2 anymore. There's G2.
Gamers 2.
I'm a Gamer 2. Well, now moving into our second round. Please don't kill me off, Slot. Of the second half. It's going to strangle me. If I ever found strangled by a scarf, it was him.
It has to be a fabulous scarf, though.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it's
definitely.
a normal scarf, then someone's framed him. But
yeah.
if it was a fabulous scarf, it's definitely Ocelot.
Well, we got the 4 Deagles and the P250 for ATK. There's so much more I want to say about my time with him during LCS. I just can't bring up on the broadcast. Jack's going to spot up multiple players in towards middle. The Nate going to come through, do some decent damage as well. And now Hunter's going to follow up with 1.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to matter because they've been able to get the first kill and should be able to rescue the weapon.
Fortunately, it's only an SMG. They actually kill off Nexa as well. This is starting to get a little bit worrying for G2. Hunter is there once again. He's been so good. And again, he's going to get 3 kills back-to-back round. JT, 53 HP. Oh, surprise, Kenny. Not the sort of surprise you'd want, but maybe the extra $600 you'll get if you get this kill might be. As now JT, I feel like I've seen so many 1 HPs throughout this tournament so far. It's starting to get a bit silly.
It is a little frustrating, right? To see that happen so often. But hey, at least he gives him a chance. 3-1 digs isn't out of the realm of possibility for JT. But with 20 seconds left, I think winning the round might be. Especially when they already have the bomb. And Kenny just having a little bit of fun with his food before Amanek comes in and cleans it up. 13-4 now. We're going to see ATK, well, unfortunately, not really be able to buy up into this. I would imagine generally like a full save coming through. Because after this round, if they lose it, they cannot afford to really lose out on too much more if they want to have a chance on their map pick.
Yeah, I would say that they need a miracle. Because I just don't see G2 letting that many rounds slip. Like, they've been performing way too well. Like, Hunter's been off the charts. Seen some great rounds from Amanek. He was the one sort of weaker link yesterday, and he's been one of the best players today. So there's literally nothing going wrong for G2. Absolutely nothing. Maybe this. There you go. Amanek is going to fall. So they can at least make things a little bit more costly, but ultimately you've still got Nexa at the back of the site, and I've always put him in that bracket of players who's good for 2. In this round, I would say probably more. I'm going to try and put the pressure onto Hunter, but we've seen in the last round that didn't really work too well, even with Deagles and armor. So, and he had a FAMAS. Now, with an M4, I think they're just hoping to find some space. Luckily, Jax is only on 18 HP, and any kills they get here is beneficial. Even if it's just to get an extra smoke or an extra HP. The fact is, though, Kenny's just killing it. Continues his way on. There's going to be an AWP coming in the next round. He's gone in with 9 grand.
It's about like a third of your day rate, right?
Oh, yeah. Maybe in my dreams.
Yeah, well done for Kenny. He gets, what, a 3K there? Ends up getting picked off at the last second, but he's got the op. They've got a decent buy here on the side of U2, even with a FAMAS for Nexa. On their side, though, we see the 4 SGs and the AK. The utility there as well. This is ATK's chance to get back into this map before they head over to Train. And honestly, with the way G2 have been already playing on Vertigo, I would be scared to face them on Train. Especially Kenny, who's been hitting some 6 shots so far on the op.
Oh, we are going to see this challenge. It's not really much of a bonus round at all for G2. They've just gone straight in with the 4-buy, knowing that they could close this here and now. Lots of utility being expended, even a cone thrown at Kenny.
Is that from the fire? Did the Molotov just like throw the cone?
Let's not talk about that. Like, in reality, it would probably melt, and if that was the case, I think this would be a very weird game if Kenny died from toxic fumes. But Amanek, his support, is going to go down. Hunter has found another. He seems to be one of the best players I've seen so far, is lurking around that side alley, doing damage. Gets aggressive, though, and is caught because of it. Leaves Kenny as the main man on the site, spotting for Floppy, hoping he can find something through the edge of the smoke. And even just look at Jax. You can see him sneaking his way through behind, trying his best to make no sound. They haven't actually managed to get the bomb down or anything, so he doesn't need to rush. And they were desperately trying, or hoping, that Floppy would win that duel. Jax is going to go peeking him from behind. OC may have just missed the timing on that as well. Pop Flash going to try and give some space over. So quick for Kenny on the flick, and he can't quite close it. But now Jax starting to come in from behind. Nexa just waiting patiently. OC just going to try and fake out that bomb plant, try and get them to push that a little bit more aggressively. I don't think he's going to have any idea that Jax is coming in, but he hits the headshot. Looks for the second and almost gets it. That was so close from OC. 3 kills and, well, 94 damage onto Nexa. Unfortunately, that has been the story of their game. Nothing seems to be going right. 15-4. Absolute domination from G2, and well, this is what comes of it for ATK. Their last-ditch effort, their last attempt to get themselves back into the game. They need 11 rounds in a row, and even if you are a massive fan of the team and you love the South African scene, which I have to say, I quite like what I'm seeing from them recently, I don't think you're sat there believing that they can turn this.
Yeah, it's just been a flat-out blindy performance out of G2 so far. Floppy does at least fade in the shot out of Jax, so he knows at least one player's going to be here. But look at Hunter, look at the confidence coming through. He gets one. 8 HP left. It looks like he's going to be able to escape from this. Modem shoot everywhere except him, and Hunter still gets the kill back. The man he was trying to spray down with 8 health gets one, and then Kenny S as well. Picks up a double. This man is just not missing shots. Now it's all on Sonic in a 1-on-5. He will get the first kill to Nexa. I was getting real scared that was going to end.
Oh, I thought he was going to die.
Well, he will eventually, it looks like. Kenny holding the angle.
Oh, okay. Doesn't matter in the end. An absolute lights-out performance for G2. There was not a point in this map where they did not look like they were going to win. This is looking like an in-form side, and